Hello everybody, welcome to our studio, and today we are bringing you the Bookshop Band Does Love. We thought it would be a nice themed little show, seeing as we're getting to that time of the year.
Yeah, don't worry, there'll be no smooching or anything.
I don't know, because... So we've chosen a few books that draw on different aspects of like romantic love, I suppose. Mm-hmm. And the first one we're going to do is inspired by Rachel Joyce's The Unlikely Pilgrimage of Harold Fry. And it follows Harold after he receives a letter from an old work colleague of his saying that she's unfortunately on her way out and she's writing to say goodbye. And Harold writes a letter back, but as he goes to post it, he realises it's not enough effort for this friend of his, and so he goes one postbox further, and so begins a story. But one of the things, the kind of the love story within this is Harold and his wife, and so we wrote a song inspired by the moment that Harold meets his wife. And he's a young man, he's dancing in a bar, he's having a wonderful time, and Maureen, his wife-to-be, looks over and sees this idiot on the dance floor and is quite intrigued by him. And Harold notices Maureen watching him but doesn't worry too much about it and carries on dancing the fool. But one thing leads to another and they start talking, and so begins this relationship that they have. But when I was reading that, I was thinking, if you knew that was the moment in your life when you met your wife-to-be, there's no way I would have carried on dancing like an idiot on the dance floor. I would have stopped and sorted out my hair and, tried to look cool. I don't know. How did I do it?
I don't know, but no, you've sorted out your hair today.
Oh, I did cut my hair. So this is kind of a song about those beginning moments of love. It's called How Not to Woo a Woman. It was on that fateful day you saw me dancing in the bar. Your eyes caught mine and so I came and whispered in your ear. I hadn't thought of what to say or what you thought of me, but it seemed to go pretty well and we left early. Move on now, 7 months and we were married by the shore. With the two of us together we never wanted more. I'll get a job to feed us and a home to keep us warm, and in a year or so I think our children will be born. So onwards 7 years and our little boy's 5. I used to think I'd save him, but at least he's still alive. We'll have our ups and downs, but I know our love will win. So I never leave this journey, not even at the end. Oh. La la da 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 da. La la da 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 da. La la da 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 da. La la da 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 da. La la da 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 da. La la da 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 da. Fast forward 20 years and I'll have been a lucky man. Our children will have grown and left the house back in our hands. We'll grow up by the seaside and we'll drink tea in the car. And I picture us beneath the grave in each other's arms. But now I catch myself as I am dancing in the bar, a little overthinking and perhaps a stage too far. I'll just enjoy the moment anymore, and I would be too scared to dance like a fool, and you'd never see me.
We actually have a whole album inspired by love, don't we?
do. Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
It's called Accidents and Pretty Girls, or How Not to Woo a Woman, which is the one we just
So we thought we'd try and delve into some of the historic songs that we've done. Historic in the sense of our own back catalogue of songs. But it's really nice to go over these books and to remember them, and to remember how to play the songs as well. I'm not going to put the cello down because I need to play that. So we thought, we were asked many moons ago now it feels, to write a song inspired by Jack Wolfe's The Tale of Rawhead and Bloody Bones. So Jack Wolfe was a friend who lived in Bath, and we were lucky enough to go and play for the launch of this in the old operating theatre. Is that what it was called? Operating room in London.
It's amazing, isn't it? It's on the top of a
church, because that's where they dissected the bodies, and gives a bit of a giveaway into the book, but it's where they had all the kind of instruments for the surgeons, and when the bodies were needing to be, what's the word? Cut up.
Told you it was a love theme.
I know. But there is a love theme within the book, although the main character is a troubled soul, and he's doesn't know. He kind of feels love, but he doesn't know how to. How he feels about, whether he likes, whether pain and pleasure are kind of the similar thing, or does he want one thing or the other? And he has a very troubled soul. But in the book there is a letter exchange between these two characters who are kind of in the they create their own characters called Leonora and Bloody Bones, and they write these letters to each other, and you start to see this crazy the thoughts that go on in his head, but he does also express some love for Leonora, who confusingly is called Catherine, I think, in the book. It's hard to kind of remember everything about it, but I do recommend it. And in the book, some of the words, the way the words are written, are slightly different, and like old style writing. And yeah, it's a good read, despite the darkness. I was getting slightly distracted then because I could hear Emmy crying downstairs.
So I'm just going to grab my words.
Oh, okay. That means I can move these over here then. Okay, Ben. So Ben would normally play the harmonium on this, but
it's so broken.
It needs a bit of love. So yes, playing the dulcitone. Ben's playing the dulcitone instead. Oh, are you ready, Ben?
No, go for it.
It's a dark world, I'm hidden away, told I'm a bad girl. He comes to me like a dream in the night. He cuts into me and shows blood to be bright. Is God one of us? Does my heart control my mind? Does my soul cry out for pain? Is there mercy in my brain? Can't save, care, crave, can't save, care, crave.
She's my willow tree. Didn't think there could be one to understand the place that I come from. It's a dark world, I breathe her pain. Please scream for me. Is there madness in my brain?
Is God one of us? Does my heart control my mind? Does my soul cry out for pain? Is there mercy in my brain? Is God one of us? Does my heart control my mind? Does my soul cry out for pain? Is there mercy in my brain? Is God one of us? Does my heart control my mind? Does my soul cry out for pain? Is there mercy in my brain? Act, save, care, crave, cut, save, care, crave. He's more monstrous than I thought, but our bond eats up my shame, my bloody bones. He's not to blame. Beautiful. So Ben and I are just probably like everybody else in the world right now, getting over some colds, and so this is probably the first time we've been able to sing
For months.
vaguely since certainly since
Last
Christmas,
year.
I would say.
Yeah.
So thank you for having us, and thank you for being here and for joining us.
Whether I Can Sing is still out, I think, on the jury.
Do we do you want to mention any of the new exciting things yet, or should we save those things?
Well, actually, because we're pre-recording this, maybe after this song or thereabouts, we will premiere a music video that we've just done for Eleanor Catton's new book, Birnam Wood, because we can. And later on, we're also going to pull out some other books that we pulled out from our bookshelves that we think kind of explore the theme of love a little bit. So some other recommendations.
Definitely, and maybe in a bit we'll talk about our new Patreon page.
Yes.
Well,
But right now,
so much to look forward to.
so the next song we're going to do is inspired by this book here, Louis de Bernier's The Dust That Falls from Dreams, which is the first of a sort of series, a family saga series that he's writing. And this one kind of, the love story within this is between someone who becomes a pilot in the First World War, and a lot of the language and the way in which he expressed his love kind of were also used in his way of describing flying. So we wrote a song kind of trying to use that language, of that exhilarating language of flying or in a dogfight in a battle, to try and talk about their fledgling relationship in the book. The song is called Further on This Journey, and it's in our Leaves album.
And it's got Louis de Bernier playing on it.
Oh yeah, it does, yeah. Hear the roar as I take off to the sky. And then we saw But if the engine fails, will I won't turn back. And then we fight, and we rolled in unison, and then you dive, and you swooped my tail in one, but the sun hides me. But the sun hides me. Well, soon I could be the dust that falls in flames to ashen ground. But don't you please undercarriage give way just as I can land. We strike the ground as low as we can dare before we're bound. We can pull up to the air. Can you come with me? Can you come with me? Well, I take me further on this journey to my heart. Well, I'd have you take me further on this journey to my heart. Well, I'd have you take me further on this journey to my heart. We actually recorded an entire album with Louis de Bernier because we realised when we were recording this with him that he'd actually spent his early 20s writing literally hundreds of songs and he'd never recorded them. So we offered to do that for him, and he brought out an album and has since diverted a lot of his writing time to writing songs. So sorry about that.
Well, we have available, if anyone's interested, the vinyl of that album. So
Yeah.
let us know if you would like a copy. We've got a few downstairs.
I'll put links to all these albums these songs are from and everything in the description. Should we do one more song and then tell them about the exciting new Patreon?
Yeah, okay, cool. So we're... this is when talking of 100 songs, we were just getting to the point where we were about to reach... we'd written, I think, 98 songs, and we were about to reach the 100 song, and we were asking people to to suggest books that we might be good for our, that milestone. And we asked Mr. B's Emporium of Reading Delights, and they were suggesting, because we hadn't done that much young adult fiction or any children's fiction by that point, that it might be good to do something that was a bit more in that vein. So they suggested The Fault in Our Stars by John Green. And so we did a song inspired by that, which is, the book has since been made into a film and all sorts of things, and I think has been on quite a journey. And the song we have is called I Say Okay, and that comes out of a text conversation between, is it Hazel, the main character, and Gus, who have a chat. They've both been diagnosed with cancer, and they both don't know they don't have definite futures. And I think as a teenager, that's obviously quite a hard thing for anybody. And so they bond over this book. They find a book that they both like, and they really want to go meet the author and find out what happens, because the book ends in a quite abrupt way, and they're so keen to find out. Anyway, so they form this relationship over that, and so the song's inspired by that. I'm just going to move this over a little bit. Is that okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do I just start? I can't remember.
I think so.
It's been a while. Come on, body, I rely on you. You know you can get there if you really want to. You're working hard, but you don't need to. It's the worry in the mind. And I didn't think we would travel together. I knew we wouldn't last forever. And I didn't think you would find me clever. You're so full of your metaphors. We'll have our always, is there always? You say okay, I say okay. Texting you from the quiet of my room, excited to see your name on my phone. A special place away from the gloom, don't want to be there alone. I thought I might explode and ruin the beauty that could be our doing. Why not make the most of this? We last forever in this kiss. We'll have our always, is there always? You say okay, I say okay. Some things they don't end like you think. Angels can exist without wings. Sharing my thoughts so they may be few. Body, I rely on you. We'll have our always, is there always? You say okay, I say okay. You say okay, I say okay. You say okay, I say okay.
Slightly dodgy slide on that one.
This is I think this is a great opportunity for us, because we haven't been out live gigging very much. We've had, lots of changes in circumstances with COVID, the pandemic, and then having children, well, especially Molly being at school, and so we haven't actually been out gigging very much. We haven't had much time to play together. So thank you for letting us share our songs with you, and warts and all.
Exactly, and that's one of the reasons we've actually started up a Patreon. We did have a Patreon before, but we've kind of rethought about that, and it's basically a way for people to with a small monthly subscription to get access to different things that we do. And like we do a lot of recording at home, a lot of writing at home. We're also going to start a podcast series where we'll chat to authors, and all sorts of things. We've got loads of exciting things coming up, and a lot of it's going to happen here. So we thought we'd set up a Patreon with different tiers, and different ways to access. Like, for example, we thought that running some songwriting workshops, maybe even some cello lessons, various kind of actually providing some kind of tutorial content, because there's so much that goes into being in a band, and so that's kind of one tier where we'll actually provide you with all those workshops and lessons. And then we've also got kind of when we're actually writing and recording, we've got a video camera in the studio, so you can actually have a studio feed into our actual process doing that.
Slightly daunting.
But it could be really interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting for us to sort of think as well. So.
Yeah. And then we're going to be doing this podcast series leading up to the album that we've done with Pete Townsend, talking to authors, and talking about the book and the song and how the song was drawn from the book. And we'll edit that down for the podcast, but actually if you guys want to be an audience for the actual recording of that and even pose questions to the authors, we thought that would be another kind of way of engaging with what we do and providing something that no one else will get to see, because it's sort of our pre-edited stuff, a bit like this, but it'll have interest, and you'll get to pose questions to the authors as well and inform what we do. And also, one of the things that we found most wonderful about the last few years is when we were doing the online concerts, we get this amazing group of people talking to each other and meeting people online. So what we're going to do is that anyone who signs up to our Patreon becomes part of like an online chat forum, so you can talk to other people on it, you can pose us questions, we can basically have a space online where that community of people who I guess get something from what we do can meet each other again and talk, and we thought that would be a really nice thing to offer.
Okay, should we go to the next song?
Yeah, we do? Okay, this is this is an early song, inspired by the kind of love where you just have a massive infatuation on somebody and you never actually talk to them. So it's inspired by this book here, called Caroline by Cornelius Medvay, and it's actually the tale of a very, very intelligent donkey, and this man effectively has a crush on this donkey. This donkey turns out to be one of the greatest chess players of all time, and he takes ages to try and convince people that he sees this amazing thing in this donkey. No one believes him, no one takes him seriously, and then it kind of twists towards the end where people start actually recognising that this donkey is extraordinary, and then the donkey just leaves his life. Like, the donkey's not interested in him anymore. So if I can get through it, this is a song inspired by that.
Colds have nearly gone. Nearly gone.
Nearly. We had to get this up in time for Valentine's Day.
Yeah, that's just in case you're wondering. That's why the theme is love.
Yeah. Okay, let's see if I can.
You're getting all the different instruments out today.
I know. I'm not. This is a kalimba that I bought at WOMAD one year. Okay, ready? I've got a crush, but I worry that I may have made I'm mad. So if I can convince others of your powers, then this might save us.
Clever donkey.
Clever donkey, crikey. So this might be a good time to do a little premiere of a music video that has is inspired by a book that has lots of different love relationships in, although I wouldn't say that's the main topic of the thing. It's Eleanor Catton's new book, Birnam Wood, and it's out towards the end of February. But we were really lucky to be invited to kind of like a pre-launch of it, and wrote a song inspired by the book. And the song we wrote is not giving anything too much away, but it's inspired by sort of three different characters in the book, and they're trying to extract themselves from a tricky situation in their various ways. And so the song follows those different routes that they take. And the cover of the book, you'll notice, has a drone on it. So we kind of had a bit of fun trying to film this in a slightly relevant way to the book. And the place that we're filming it is in Wigtown, just outside our window here. And it's a beautiful, beautiful view over the Solway Firth. So I hope you enjoy the video, and we'll come back after the break, after the thing, with some couple more songs. I keep to the word, the canopy over me, and if I keep here I should never be, ever be seen. Parting the earth, then hide the seeds, hide the seeds, and we will tend to the dirt, and all it feeds, we want the land underneath your nose, we will share it when it grows. We want the land no one else has sown, tend the soil and see it grow. Kill all the pests with marigolds,
fall, twice fall. Don't move till the morning with the sunlight to dissolve in. We work the land underneath your nose. We will share it when it grows. We work the land, they will never know all the ways we make it grow. We work the land underneath your nose. We will share it when it grows. Marigolds, marigolds will clear the land. If you're bold, there are many ways you can. Your coffee mold, she's anything you've got to hand. Tomatoes, proof is always in the plant. Lay out our bed just to wriggle out, wriggle out, wriggle out of this. Exits are just to figure out, figure out, figure out. Play to the crowd. It's a powerful, powerful, powerful place to hide. The top's where you dig the deepest holes, deepest holes, deepest holes. So fuck you all, fuck you all, fuck you all. It's filled with gold, filled with gold, filled with gold. Don't move till the morning with the sunlight to dissolve in. Don't leave till the morning when the rain comes to dissolve in. He walks the land underneath your nose. You'll never find out where it goes. He walks the land underneath your nose. You'll never find out where it goes. He walks the land underneath your nose. You'll never find out what he knows. He works the land underneath your nose. You'll never find out where it goes. We work the land, but what have we to show for it? Hell if I know.
Right, this is another song from our Love album. It's from The Accidents and Pretty Girls, and it's inspired by a book called The Teleportation Accident by Ned Bowman. And I would still say this is one of my... I think it was so bizarre. Maybe I hadn't quite come across a book in the same vein. I just really enjoyed it, and took you places that you didn't think it would go, and in time and in place as well. So it's about a guy called Lersa, who is he's kind of the set designer, or that's the world he wants to get into, is theatre. And it's set just before the Second World War, in Berlin, and there's an artsy kind of get-together group that hang out together, and Lersa's a bit on the fringes of that. He's not particularly welcome, partly because he keeps having these ideas and damaging people's limbs and bodies and things by accident. But he falls in love with a woman called Adele Hitler, who used to be one of his students, but he doesn't realise it and sees that she's grown up and changed. And anyway, it takes him on a real journey. It takes him to all sorts of different places, but certainly is an obsession, and not a particularly healthy one, but I guess sometimes those things take you somewhere else.
Good for a book.
So good for a book. Yeah, exactly. So this is a song. I mean, the song tells a bit of the story, so we'll just sing that. And that features Ben on another instrument that doesn't often feature in this way.
It's the best thing you'll see all night. Well, the best thing you'll see me play. Wait for the solo.
Just to make Ben go on a little bit longer. It's
I know, they're loving this.
comfortable. It's awkward.
They're loving it, it's great.
Not one for politics, difficult in social situations. Parties always seem to upset all the arty crowd, and women he was trying to impress. Lavaccini gave him a purpose and an interest in historical drama, wanted to find reasons for theatrical disaster, ending in hysterical palaver of farce, and women always feature in these things. For
teleportation machine. A love that had a hold over him. A teleportation machine.
Thank you very much. And Ned Bowman is the author who also wrote the song that inspired our Foxes, wrote the book that inspired our Foxes song. The book is called Glow. So yeah, he comes highly recommended.
Absolutely.
So we thought because it was a love theme thing, we might just draw in a couple of other books that we could recommend to you that we have either read or that we think might... I don't know, might inspire a song in the future, perhaps, or might have inspired a song already.
Yeah.
And the one, so I got this for my birthday a couple of years ago, I think. Oh, it's got a funny little Molly scarecrow in it.
Oh.
And it's by Chris Riddle. Well, the book it's a collection by Chris Riddle. And we were lucky enough to do an event with him a couple of years ago over lockdown. But it's poems to fall in love with, and it's poems that he's illustrated, but they're a mixture of songs, song lyrics and poems by lots of different people. I was going to choose something to read and I didn't really choose anything. Actually, there's one by Kate Tempest here that I could read. It's called Firework. It's an example of, it's not all lovey-dovey, although there is a little Valentine section, but it's all aspects of love with fantastic illustrations throughout it. So I'll just, my speaking voice isn't very strong at the moment, but I'll go for it anyway. Not as good as Kate Tempest anyway. Firework. The new woman arrived in my life like a fire arrives in wet woodland. I was a cave in the dirt full of claggy old timber. She was the spark. We struggled to take, we couldn't quite catch, but every so often, with close enough attention, our fire would roar with great authority and light up the whole sorry place. There you go.
There's another great book by Patrick Gale called A Place Called Winter. Has a lovely love story in there as well, so that's another one to recommend. And the other one I was going to recommend was The Field by Kevin Mayer, mainly because we wrote a song inspired by this called This Is Love, but it was far too difficult to play for tonight.
And I'd say both those books have a dark edge to them, but do contain love stories within them and are very well written.
Yeah.
And also Etta and Otto and Russell and James by Emma Hooper. We do have songs inspired by that, so you can check those out somewhere on the internet. But yeah, lovely relationship between Etta and Otto into their 80s.
Yeah, and sort of how do you leave love or not leave it? I don't know. Yeah. So there we go. Right,
Something
from crushes to all the way. So we thought we'd finish off with a sort of I suppose it's a bit of a pining song. It's a separating from a love and how you feel about that and how you deal with that. And it's a song called Faith in Weather.
I reckon we're probably at the limit of our babysitting.
Yeah, probably. If anyone saw our last live show, we were stage dived by both our children after the first song. So this is why we thought we'd pre-record them. So yeah, there's a PayPal donation link if anyone wants to send a little donation. There's links to our shop where you can buy any of the albums that these songs come from. We've got lots of CDs and even a few vinyl with them on. And if you'd like to investigate our Patreon, we are launching that with this video. So we really, really hope that has something interesting for you guys. But thanks so much for watching. This has been the Bookshop Band Does Love, and who knows what we'll come back with next month. Okay, this is Faith in Weather.
Time is over and I know you're gone. Sea flying overheld my tongue. The lines I send you only keep you down. Faith in weather as my love is blown. Wind was very strong today when 7 ravens flew away. See far upon a hill of glass, I could never climb, but still I start, build the steps I need to bear our weight. 7 years to make and 6 I stayed. Wind was very strong today when 7 ravens flew away. I was taken by the wind and swept away. I could not respond to anything he'd say. I was taken by the wind and swept away. I could not respond to anything he'd say. Wind was very strong today when 7 ravens flew away. Time is over, for I know most done. Sea flying overheld my tongue. Hope my voice is strong and calls you down. Faith in weather and my love's return. Time is over and I know you're gone. See you flying overheld my tongue. Hope my voice is strong and calls you down. Faith in weather as my love is blown.
Thank you so much for joining us on the Bookshop Band Does Love little show. I hope you all have a lovely Valentine's Day. If you've got any suggestions for themes for the next one, do send them in, put them in the comments, and we'll try and make these a regular thing, maybe once a month to do them, something like that. We'll see. And there's also a donations link, so if you'd like to donate just a one-off little thing for this show, that would be amazing. There's a little PayPal donation button.
Thanks very much.
Thank you. See you next time.
I sink myself in